DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
All right, we are live. Good evening and welcome to show number 3 tonight. We've had 3 shows. That's more than 1, possibly more than 2, but never more than 4. There's your math lesson for tonight. Congratulations. You passed.
C.
No, that's the English lesson.
That's the English.
Or Spanish, depending upon...
I was saying choosing letter C, choice C, multiple choice.
We could have Spanish lessons. I wouldn't know enough to ask any of them, but we could. Oh, Dora. I could channel some Dora. We could see what the map said.
No.
No, okay, maybe not. Okay. Okay, so we're going to stay on topic tonight, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we've got a few things. We're going to do some house cleaning things as we start, and then we're going to get into tonight's topic, talking about origins. And I love that MJ made the thumbnail. If you guys didn't get a chance to look at that, look at it a little more in depth. You know, the origins, the cartoon origins. That was good. That was a very good piece of artwork there, MJ.
Thank you.
Okay. So a few things. We mentioned in the first show tonight with KC, coming January of 2018, a lot of the DJNTV shows are going to be shifting, moving, changing. Some new shows are going to be coming in, and one of the new shows is going to be on Thursday night. We're actually going to now have some programming on Thursday nights. KC is going to be doing a business show on Thursday nights on the DJNTV channel. We're going to be tweaking a little bit with we're going to be doing a weekly music show, but we're trying to work on getting a weekly mixing version in on that also, and that's something we've been talking about for a while, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to put that together for January, but that's something that a lot of you are asking about, especially as I've been doing some of these music video shows where we're talking about the music videos, and I play with the sampler, and people are like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool. Can you do?" It's like, I can't. MJ can.
We could do that right now, John, if you wanted to.
MJ can. They've got skills. Shaney's got skills of doing these things live and such. So we're going to start to change some of that programming a little bit to demonstrate more of these things. And so that's going to be something. And again, I'm not sure if we'll have it ready for January. Our goal is to be January, February is to be able to launch some of these. What else? Tonight will be our last night of the 4 of us in our typical Monday night spot, because next week we start in our Christmas. It's December already. Dan, how did you do this? You let Christmas sneak up on us.
I forgot to warn you. I'm sorry.
We didn't shop. We haven't purchased.
It's not December yet.
Oh, we're still good then.
So we can still kind of bask in the glow of Thanksgiving.
We're basking in the glow of basted turkey. Turkey.
That's called a food coma, Dan.
We're still in the food coma stage. And the turkey was good, don't get me wrong, but I'm one that no one in my house beyond myself likes stuffing. So the only time I get to have stuffing is the holidays when a different family member makes it and brings it. Now, back in the day, they used to make a big thing of it, and they would bring it over, and we'd have some, and then they would say, "John, would you like me to leave some for you?" And it would be like, yes, Lord, yes. I mean, I like stuffing a little bit. Last couple of years, it's like they make such a little bit, because I'm guessing that they take a lot home, and then they take it all home. And it's like, goodbye, my friend. I'll miss you. And it's gone. So there was my Thanksgiving in a nutshell. You're welcome. So how's everybody doing tonight? Shaney,
well.
Shaney's back with us. She wasn't feeling well last week, and wasn't pretty. Wasn't even laying in the bed pretty or in the bathtub pretty, and
didn't even make it home pretty.
Well, I think that reminds me of some of my college days. Ever tell you the story about I spent the night puking in my mother-in-law's driveway? Well, that's a not make it home pretty story. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Yeah. So got a few things coming up. We're going to be Wednesday of this week. Last week we were hoping to have it. We've got a couple more sponsors who are coming in for our Christmas event this year for prizes and things. We've got some speakers. We've got some a couple of controllers we'll be doing. We've got some music and different things. Wednesday we should have this all wrapped up, and we're going to be sending out the links and such so you guys can register for the drawings that we're going to be doing starting next Monday night, or Monday and Tuesdays in December. We're going to be giving away during each show some different prizes and things. So the sign up will be coming out hopefully on Wednesday. I hope. It's like one of these things that you send an email and it's like, hey guys, are you wanting to be interested? You or be in the thing, you were there last year, and you're like, yeah, we want to be in. Great. Okay, what would you like to do so we can put it on the list of items? Don't hear back. Don't hear back. Don't hear back. Are you guys sure? Would you like to be involved? Yeah, we want to be involved. Great. So let me know what you'd like to be. What would you like so we can list it on the items? Don't hear back. Don't hear back. That's my day. Okay. I think I've got my house cleaning stuff done. Thank you for listening. So tonight we're going to talk about the origins of our DJ career. We're going to go way back in the time machine. And we're going to go back to the early days and find out exactly how our DJNTV personalities started in this thing we call the DJ biz. Yes, that's right. We're going to go way back when we were so young in our parachute pants with zippers all over, and we had the comb in our back pocket, and Hubba Bubba bubblegum was the hot thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who gave John some extra caffeine tonight?
I'm just setting up our show.
Wow.
It's you know that we just said, Dan, the tryptophan and the food coma. Well, there's a rebound from that. It's like, whoa, hey, I just digested 50 pounds of food. I'm lighter.
Well, actually, the lighter part happens, maybe about 8 hours after you've had the 50 pounds of food, but that's another story.
You young kids.
Okay, so back to Thanksgiving for one last thing, and then we'll leave. Is there anything in a Thanksgiving table that can't be improved with Cool Whip on top? Just saying. Okay, gonna leave it there.
The cranberry sauce.
Seriously, isn't cranberries like something that's just there for decoration, like garnish on the side of your plate, and you throw that stuff away when you're done?
I didn't put it there, but
see
it's on the
it
table.
wiggle, see it jiggle off my plate and onto the floor. Yay!
Holy crap, John. Either take more of what you're not taking or take less of what you are.
What is happening tonight?
I'm just saying.
This is special.
I say John just takes the whole show tonight.
John, run with it, John.
Yes.
John's getting his.
Honestly, I just want John to do the whole show tonight.
Well, now
John's going to have a spin-off show. What's it called? John off tryptophan.
Me, myself, and John is the name of the show.
And this isn't the first show for him tonight. He's just getting warmed
just
up.
punch
normally.
He's getting punch happy. See,
Or maybe he's just so
Scott.
excited to be with us.
That's right. Heavy. I got so lonesome in the last show. All I was listening to is Sugar Ray songs. I got scared. So we're going to start out talking a little bit, kind of going back and kind of establishing the origins and how long we've been in this, and we'll kind of go through. MJ, we're going to start with you now. You've said you're approaching 30 years.
Actually, that's what kind of got me on the mindset of all this. Is this month, 30 years ago, November 1987, I got paid for the first time for DJing. My friend Bill and I, we DJ'd a Hawaiian luau at the local YMCA. We put all our equipment together to do this gig. In early day marketing, now this is one of the cool things, the early days of marketing, Bill actually went, he did the footwork, went to the local Domino's and got them to donate some pizza and sell it to us at a reduced price so we could sell it and make profit. And they also gave us a whole bunch of Domino's Frisbees and Domino's painter's caps. If you don't know what a painter's cap is, go back to the 80s and look it up. To get something like that for free was a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
And that was our first event, Hawaiian Luau, him and I. It's at November 1987. So, and I think we probably made, couldn't have been much. It couldn't have been. It would be the equivalent of like a large McDonald's meal today. Probably what we got paid. I don't know. We didn't get much. But so yeah, that's where 30 years, and I've wanted to do something this month, and I just kept thinking, but I can't think of anything special that I would like to do. People are like, oh, I have a party. I'm like, well, I really don't want to have a party.
I don't like people that much. So
I'm like, I've been doing parties for 30 years. That's not what I want to do extra to celebrate the parties. I would like to do a non-party to celebrate the party.
ooh, a non-party. That would be interesting. And Cool Whip would make it better.
It's all you need. It's a Cool
Yeah,
Whip.
pretty much. I did have four things of them, just saying that they were there. Not that I ate all four of them, but
Was it the flavored Cool Whip or the non-flavored Cool
No,
Whip?
just the regular, straight out of the tub stuff.
But you
And
just ate it. Wait, hold up. You just ate it with a spoon?
No.
It's light and airy. You can do that.
You put
Oh, it's delicious. It's the best.
Take a little bit of pumpkin. I mean, the only reason God made pumpkin is because you needed to have pumpkins to something to pretend that you were with the Cool Whip. So you take your little pumpkin bar and then you put the thing of Cool Whip on top, and then you're good. I'm healthy. I've got my vegetables here with the pumpkin.
Healthy.
I've got some
Pumpkin pie has pumpkin in it. Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah,
That's a fruit, technically.
yeah, precisely. So there's healthy stuff there, and isn't it non-dairy meaning kind of dairy? You know, non-dairy
Ooh.
whipped topping, kinda.
That's healthy dairy if it's non-dairy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's non-bad stuff, is what. Okay. So Shani, let's go back. When did you start in this biz? When was your first DJ event? What can you tell us about that?
I don't even know what year my first DJ business, because I started as a dancer before I was a DJ. So I was.
When did you start the dancing then? I mean, we've talked a little bit about your
Right.
Disney time.
Yeah.
Were you doing that
So,
in high school?
I was a professional dancer in 93. So I was a dancer first and then kind of just dabbled. I dabbled a little. I just did a little wick as a DJ first.
She only turned one knob.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't really turning knobs yet. It wasn't, I was just, I guess back then you could say like, I was just, like a hobby DJ, I was one of those type of DJs first. So I guess MJ could say like, I wasn't a real DJ back then. I guess MJ could call me not like a real DJ back then, because I really wasn't back then. And I guess you could say like, I really could say like I was a professional DJ when I really could say that I kind of like got myself out like in the open of like my first gig with the vinyls and, like out there with people carrying like the crates for me and stuff like that, like, oh my God, now like this is legit. Like I'm like not, like doing it in a garage or in a basement or anything. And that was probably like 98, 99, probably, when I was still dancing. So that was probably like when I was doing like the whole crossover stuff, when I was still on tour, like when the DJs were like, come on, just, piggyback off of us. And, you could, use our music and everything. That's when like people still swap vinyls and kind of like shared stuff and was like, oh, I got this. You just hear the B side of this. This is hot. You got to listen to the B side of this because you can't get this anywhere yet. So that was probably like when I first started, when I didn't know if that's really the direction I was going in, because I was still dancing on tour and everything. And but I was hanging out with the DJs because the DJs have the cool music. I didn't really care about the artists, even though those were the famous people. And they're the ones that made all the good money, because the DJs had the good music. And that's really all I cared about as a dancer. Like whoever had the good music, whoever had the cool mixtapes that they were like selling in the back of their backpacks and out of the trunk of their cars and stuff like that. That's really who I cared about, was where the good music was at. As somebody who was a dancer, you cared about who had the good music, not like the famous artists. Like I really didn't. I wasn't into like the fame part of it. I was into like the good music. So that's really how I got started, because they're the ones that were my mentors and kind of got me into it and said, this is what you need. This is, this is how to do it. This is what to do. And I mean, I'm thankful that I had some incredible DJ mentors that really took me under their wing and taught me really how to do it. And and that I had people, yes, I learned how to do other things on my own when it became digital and things like that. And I had to learn how to, with the CDs and then with the digital music. but it was just, I was thankful that I had people to teach me with the vinyl and learn how to mix by ear and, the music and read the crowd and do it that way. So I'm very thankful that I have that to fall back on when you don't do Serato face and things like that and you're staring at the waveforms.
Oh, come on, Serato face is fun. Dan, what takes back to the early?
All right, so my career started with radio 22 years ago. So I started working promotions as a mascot when I was in high school for the local radio station, and then a few months had passed by, and there was a sheet that was in the studio, and it said, "We're kind of on a skeleton crew, so if you know somebody that might want to work part time, let the boss know." I went, I'm somebody. So I went and talked to him, and that week he sent me right over to the studio right away. And the midday guy came me, the kind of run through. And that weekend I was doing overnights, and I did that probably for 3 or 4 years. I went on to college, decided to do a career in radio. But it was when I was there that I started doing mobile events. My first events, I guess, were for the local college, or that I was going to. They usually had like 1 or 2 dances a year, and like that was it. And so I got in doing that. And my first wedding was actually for an admissions counselor for the college. She got married and she hired me to do that. And that's where the mobile side started and where I learned to mix. After I graduated college, I needed to find work, and I went to this restaurant who was hiring for a server, and I got in, and they said, "We also have DJs for happy hour time." So I was like, So basically from 5 until 8, we just want you to play music, and you're going to make announcements about promotions we have coming up, and do that thing. And then, we'll have you serve on the side. I started. 2 weeks later, the 2 guys that did the Friday and Saturday night as the bar DJ club-esque type of feel, one moved away and the other one quit to go to another place, and they said, "You're on." And that was trial by fire. Basically just got thrown in right away. And that started the club-esque side, we'll say. I know it's bar with the DJ, but the way they turned it into for that night, it felt kind of esque. So that was the progression. It was kind of scary.
Somebody asked me if I ever did the DJ dancer thing on Fremont Street, and I just want to respond to that. I've seen it, and that's not ever something. I mean, nothing against those type of girls that do that thing, but that's not what I ever would do. That's not the type of dancing that I've done or anything. I'm a technically trained dancer. And when I was on tour, I was actually on tour with real artists. I was on tour when Biggie first went on tour. I was on the Junior Mafia Biggie tour for that whole entire Puff Daddy thing. So I was on like a big hip hop tour, things like that. That was the type of dancing tour that I did. I was never a DJ/dancer. Like when I was on tour, I was never like the combination of both or anything like that. I definitely was just a dancer when I was on tour. I never tried to dip my toe into different waters and move like a very veteran DJ out of his spot or anything like that. So I was just a dancer. And I mean, like the hours you put into it, I mean, think of like Janet Jackson's dancers or J-Lo's dancers. I mean, you don't understand. We're in rehearsals on top of rehearsals on top of rehearsals. Like it's just crazy, things like that. And actually for the mobile business, I actually was an MC before I even was a DJ in the mobile business, because in my type of business, we're interactive MCs. So for anyone who's seen anything on my Facebook page, our DJs are just DJs. They are just people who spin music. They don't come out. They don't MC. They don't do anything, where our MCs are interactive MCs. So because of my dance background, I actually was more comfortable becoming, while I was still training to be a better DJ in my mixing and my transitions and stuff like that, I was training to be an MC for what I did. So I was more comfortable being the interactive MC that I have become, that I can just do with my eyes closed in my sleep, with anything thrown at me, any type of situation that happens, I can just do with my eyes closed because of the situations I've been in. So I kind of really, like, if anybody asks me, it's funny, like DJing really is the last thing that I've done in like my transition in the entertainment business, where a lot of people think that that's really all I've done my whole entire life, which it isn't. It's like I've been a dancer my whole entire life. Then I've been like an MC second, and then I've really been a DJ last. But a lot of people just really know me as a DJ, but a lot of people like in my industry just know me as like, oh, she's an MC. She's an MC. That's all we've ever seen her done at events. But if like people see my Snapchats, they just laugh when I MC, because I'm just a fool when I like MC my parties, because I just like to act a fool with the kids and the adults out there. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, with the things that the type of events that I do, we separate the DJ and the MC with like what we do. Just a little more background.
Yeah, speaking of the dancing side of it, MJ, that was part of your early, or your.
Yeah, I don't think we're not going to bring that up, MJ.
I'm actually trying to find pictures right now. I found early pictures. I'll skate the outside of the dancing thing for a minute, and I want to show these are the earliest pictures I have of me DJing, and this is the late '90s. I think this is, and they're the early CDJs that actually flip up. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And my case was, I'm not kidding you, it was a gun case. So it was one of those plastic gun cases that you put. That was my coffin, and that was like the late '90s. Running video, I was doing multimedia back then behind me and everything for this event, and that was the early days of that. Well, that's late '90s.
Were those DVD players then, or?
No, those were like the first or second gen CDJs.
Okay.
I think they were the 300s, and a 300 I think was like the second gen. The first one was pretty crappy, and then those ones came out and they were pretty decent actually.
So how are you doing the video then?
It was just another thing projecting. It was something I had added to my show that I had, you know, taken stuff along to be able to put as part of that. That, you know, everybody else would just do that. I would add this whole video thing behind me, which I still do, and I think that's why that kind of comes comfortable. But for the dancing part, I'll see if I can find a picture for that. But I would say probably right around that same time, maybe 86. It's a funny story. My friend Rob, I mean, I never danced before that at all. I was a person, I grew up, I was an artist. I drew and painted, and that's all I did. I entered national competitions for drawing. That was all I was going to do with my life. And then the summer after I graduated high school, my friend Rob's like, man, you got to go to this under 21 dance. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. I'm like, I'm not paying $5 to go sweat in public with these people. No way. And went one time and totally got hooked and realized a very short time after that. I mean, I goofed around with breakdancing before that. But when that hit, it was like, that's all I wanted to do. And I did that and started entering dance competitions all over the Pittsburgh. And I mean, I lived more than an hour outside the city, and started entering dance competitions, winning them. Until one, I didn't win. I got second place to these two guys. And I said, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So I went and found out about the dance company they were part of, and joined the dance company and started taking lessons. And about a year later was teaching little classes to little hip hop classes and stuff. I'm trying to find the picture from the TV commercial that I have. We did TV commercials for the local TV station and all kinds of stuff. And here they are. Open a new tab. All right, so I'm going to share this. This is from what would that have been? 1990, I think, 89 or 90. And we share. And this was a TV commercial for WTAE. I am right. Where am I? I don't even know where I'm at. I can't find me. I'm in there. There I am, right there. It's tough to see, but right there I am.
Because you don't have a hat on.
Yeah, there I am over there. And this is when you wore the bib with the one side off. And
yeah, it's hot. Yeah.
And there and
Mary J. Blige look.
Yeah, and I think I had a pink tank top on. This was the one TV show we did a thing on right there. That's me. That was that's another one. I was at the WWE headquarters. That's not there, but there was other ones in there. There's that one again. Go back to this one. I used to have long hair when I was younger. This was part of the dance company stuff that we did. I don't remember what show this was, but this is like 88, 89. So
see, what you don't really know is MJ still has that long hair. He just tucks it all up in the hat.
So yeah, I have a man bun.
MJ, don't make me Snapchat you.
She was Snapchatting man buns at the basketball game this week.
Oh, you know, I just snapped it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's an NBA man bun. It doesn't matter to me. If you have a man bun, I'm going to Snapchat it.
There's problems. There's problems all over.
So that was my dancing, and my dancing led. I did that for a few years, and then felt it was very two-dimensional, and that's when I wanted to go even further with the vocal stuff, and that's where the vocals came in tied with the DJing, and I would do. It was the EDM era, the early stuff of like the heavy D and stuff when they had the house, and then on into the late '90s with Sandstorm, and that's kind of where mine really took off. With my first album was late '90s, and it was very Sandstormy kind of feel to it, and my show became me doing the vocal stuff with the high energy EDM, and then just like a guitar player would have their guitar on stage, I would have my turntables and go over and do stuff during different little parts of the show and have fun. And I had, for those of you who know what a chord chaos pad is, I had the very first chord chaos pad, and you could sample. So I would sample off my mic as I was doing stuff, and then drop my vocals with loops and effects off of the chord chaos pad of stuff I was doing live on the microphone. So it just kind of one developed into another, but over the thing that I've always made the most money off of is DJing. And that's kind of where it's all kind of come back to. I've done all the other things, but it's always been DJing where I've made most of my money. So, sure. Sometimes you are what your paycheck says you are.
Mm-hmm. For my situation, very much in the same era as MJ. In my our first paying gig was in 1986, October, probably September. It's homecoming of '86, so it was either the end of September or the 1st of October. We did the homecoming dance at our local high school, and we rented some speakers from Duluth, Minnesota, which is 3.5 hours away from here. And my buddy who started Soundforce with me, that was our first company, he rented the speakers, brought them down. He had an entourage with him because when he said that he was going to be doing a high school dance, that his college buddies all jumped in the car, and there were, I think, 6 or 8 of them that were with. And we set up our sound system with our handful of CDs that we had and our handful of cassettes that we had and a couple of turntables with some vinyl that we had in our personal collection. And that is what we did with our very first show. I believe we were paid $40 for that show. And if you think about it, I think by the time you rented the speakers and they drove down, we lost money right there. I know I didn't make anything on that particular one because I think we.
But did you have fun?
I don't remember. I really don't remember that if we did or not. I almost want to say in some ways probably not because of all the stress and such of because my job was we had our light show was floodlights, and we had a red, green, and blue 300-watt floodlight, whatever they were, 150, 300-watt, whatever. And then we had light switches. So my job was to go and flip switches on the light show for the night, and then to take requests when the kids would come up with requests. And then Warner, he did the main pulling and such of the music. And then we had another guy who was with us that was the one queuing up cassette tapes. Oh, we need that 4th song on that side of the cassette tape. And then rewind it back a quarter turn. Okay, it's ready to go.
That's it. Hear the first sound, stop it, quarter of a turn, press the pause, press the play, press the pause down again. And as soon as you let it up, on beat.
You're on. Yeah, that was how we did it. And that was the very, very, very first show. So yeah, it was a long time ago. And then we ended up doing, before we bought speakers, for a number of years, we were using, not a number of events, because we were just doing our school, because I was a high school student at the time. We were doing the different dances, the Sadie Hawkins dance and the Snow Days dance and whatever else, anything they would do. And there weren't that many kids, so we were probably being paid $40 or $50 each time. But then we moved into a sound system which was home stereo driven, so we had a Kenwood home amplifier that was the power of our system, and we had 2 Kenwood 12-inch speakers and 2 Fisher 10-inch speakers. And that was our sound system for, I think, 3 or 4 dances at the school. And we did our thing and played music for the events, and the kids had a good time. It's just the stress of trying to keep music flowing at that particular time and making transitions, because we didn't have a DJ mixer to start off with. I don't think we got a DJ mixer probably until 1988 when we got our first pan across. So it was like on that home stereo, it's like, okay, we're doing tape in 1, and now we're doing tape in 2.
See, back then, I remember, like, at my dances, I remember just somebody talking, like, in between. Mm-hmm. Like, I would, like, as a dancer, like, I just remember, like, we were just dancing like crazy. And then somebody, I don't want to say it was like a radio jock, but, like, somebody was just, always talking because they had to make sure they were getting ready for, like, the next song. But we were used to that, like, somebody was just, talking until they were, ready to play the next song. So that was normal for us to have that transition of just somebody talking, saying whatever, and whether it was a school announcement or it was just them talking about whatever the song was or whatever they're saying about themselves, or about something going on at the school or something. But it was just, I just remember there was always like talking in between, and it was normal.
Now that you bring that up, Shani, that I don't think we talked at a show until, because we didn't.
That's why you were so stressed out.
We didn't have a microphone, so I bet we didn't talk until, probably 80, 89. Those shows, because before we didn't have a mixer. So I think we finally bought a mixer.
They didn't have a place to plug the mic into the mixer. And they got a mixer, and there's a mic in. They're like, oh let's talk.
This is how this works. So I think one of our very first microphones we had was that one you could get from Radio Shack. That was the gooseneck microphone, because we thought, you plug that into the mixer.
You needed to get a Mr. Microphone back then.
I should have. That would have been so awesome.
Was it the gooseneck that made the sound when you moved it? So if the mic was on,
it was not good. It was really, really bad. I mean, I probably would have been better off if I'd known at the time to take headphones and use those as a microphone. It probably sounded as good.
Done that, yep.
It was not pretty.
But the thing was, I mean, even back then, even if the DJ was terrible, nobody really cared.
It was a different mindset for sure. Yeah.
I mean, everybody sucked.
Back then it wasn't like, we never laughed saying like, oh my God, that DJ was bad, because there wasn't, nobody, like, you had nothing to compare it to. It wasn't like anything. We were just happy that there was a school dance and there was music.
Yeah. Sometimes it was just the fact that there was a dance. Yeah.
There was a dance and there was music, whether we stood around or, you just had fun. It didn't matter if you danced or anything. It was just an activity that you could go to and have fun and just do whatever, talk about people, or just, jump around or whisper and make fun of the boys or whatever. But there was music and you could dance, so you didn't really care about what was going on with the DJ, because it really didn't matter to the kids back then. That's funny, like how it's just been such a crazy transition about what people think of DJs back then to now.
Yeah.
I remember doing an event because late 90s, early 2000s, like I said, mine really took off. So I was hired by different places. And when I got back home, there was a church in the area it's quite a big youth group. I mean, it's very big, and it's still to this day is big. And the kids were like, we want to get MJ in there, to DJ for us, just, for the night, just have fun, prior to the event or whatever. And and they called me, and the youth pastor's like, I just don't understand. He goes, all I know a DJ does is puts on a song, stands there and drinks a beer until it's over till the next song. And I'm like, it's a lot different now. It's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's perception. I mean, even you talk to people now, they still have a perception of what they think. DJ just, plays like.
Yeah. Don't you just play on
that's
Spotify?
What some still do.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some of them use a program that, doesn't even mix and.
Right.
And
And then there's some people out there who are using the ultimate in the modern software that can take songs and contour them to become this audio experience that people will love for miles around.
I don't know many people using Serato Pyro.
Oh, I just want to say here, after we get off the show, I have news about the new Serato.
The new Serato?
I spoke to a person this week about it, so I can't say anything on air, but you all are going to get to hear about it and show you pictures. I got screenshots.
Oh, cool.
So all kinds of cool stuff. So those of you who like Serato, all I can say is that you are going to be happy with it's not going to be a new program, so don't feel like you're going to go off the deep end and something new, but it's nice. It's nice. So anyways, back to the real subject.
Serato 50?
I found another picture that I want to show that better showed those pioneers and show you what they were like. For those of you who didn't know the early pioneers, same set, but an overtop shot. So,
yeah, I remember
so
seeing
you can kind of get to see them a little bit there. So, but that's
where's the Chaos pad, or didn't you have it in that setup?
It wasn't in that setup. That was I forget. That was a Pioneer effects unit there. I can't remember what it was called, but that was before the Chaos pad. That was just a regular little effects unit.
Wasn't there like a 4500 or something, or 2500?
I don't know. I'll see if I can find it while the rest of you talk. But it had tops that kind of slid and let you do some effects, and then buttons, and it just added the next effect. It was before, I mean, even though you did a lot back then, like Shaney can attest for it, what we might have a filter knob now, back then you would take the high and low and opposite turn the high and low to try to create a filter effect and stuff. You didn't have the other stuff. So I think that's why I do so much blending now, is because back then that's all you could do.
Sure.
You didn't have an effects button to press. It was all analog, so that was your effects, was twisting and turning and manipulating and
I didn't see a sync button either on those controllers or those players, so they obviously weren't very good.
I am so happy to say that I never even touched or saw a sync button until at least 2010. I was mixing at a club probably in 2008, and this dude, he's another DJ, was there hanging out, and he's just in my ear, and I'm trying to mix, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Hold on a second, I'm mixing." And he's like, "Wait, what? Are you mixing with your ears?" I'm like, "Yes, that's what I'm doing, dude." He's like, "Holy cow!"
Somebody asked you that.
And he's a DJ. He's a flat out DJ, and I thought, this dude knew how to DJ. I don't understand. Why did that surprise you? And he's like, "Wow, that's cool." What the freak? Do you see a computer in front of me?
With your ears.
With my ears.
Well, maybe he was visual. He liked to just watch.
I don't know. He was a trip, though. I still talk to him every once in a while. But yeah, so that's think about that. This is one of the things that people talk about, the sync button, all the time. We're talking about origin stories. I'm not worried about the sync button. If you want to challenge someone, have them DJ with the lid closed on their laptop so they can't see waveforms. That's where you're going to see people go, "I don't know what to do. I wait, where's my headphones? I have to get headphones now. I can't just look at the waveform." That's where the thing's going to change, when you have to know where you're at in the song by sound and know how long you have left in the song by sound. So I think that's partially, we talked, John, about how my mind kind of grabs onto the music. And I think that's because that's all I've done before, was like, I have to know how far I have into that song before that first word starts, because I got to get that mix right to drop that. Because if I miss it too late, then there's going to be dead air, thump, 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 thump in between the two. And if I go too early, it's going to overlash.
Yeah.
So that's I do, but I'm one that absolutely embraces technology. I love watching the waveforms. I love getting, I don't mind using the sync button, the effects, all this stuff. I embrace it as part of the tool. It's part of my tools. That's all. A lot of guys don't like it, though.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's just one of them there things that's there. Next kind of topic. Back in the day, when you were early and just starting to play, what was one of your kind of a favorite go-to artists or bands that was kind of I'm going to mix this in, regardless if the crowd liked it or not? Because back in that, especially with MJ and I early in our time, they got what we played. Because there are times where we didn't, you couldn't have access to some of the things that the radio stations did, what have you. So there's things we played early on. What was some of those things that you played that were kind of personal favorites?
While we're thinking, I want to show you a picture of that effects unit. This was the Pioneer effects unit, the EFX 500.
500, okay.
Yeah, so that's what it was. All right, so songs. Artists or songs? For me, it's always, we shared this last week or whenever before you asked about, you asked a question a couple weeks ago about songs and what song did we hear that kind of made us
Yeah,
want to become. Yeah. It's always been dance music for me, and even the disco era, and then on beyond that, anything with the fast beats has always been my thing. You know, that's all I can say. I mean, I've DJ'd every kind of music, I've danced every kind of music, I've sung every kind of music, but when it comes down to it, it's always house or EDM or trance or progressive or trip hop or whatever. That's what moves me. I could live as a DJ between 120 and 130 BPM and never leave that and be so happy.
Dan Cheney.
Trying to remember back, and the only thing I can't think of any that were actually just straight out personal favorites, because when I was getting started, I was so kind of nervous because I was playing for people that it was kind of more like whatever got me that reaction. That was great. Like that was what I wanted. So I'm thinking, within the group that I had, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. I'm thinking, Baby Got Back. I'm thinking most of the ones that were kind of like for that group would have been like their middle school, maybe early high school type songs, because that's what they wanted to hear then at their dance. And that's probably what would be my go-to at that point.
Cheney?
I'm an old school like hip hop R&B head. So I mean, and that's mainly like a lot of the crowds, even when I'm playing like EDM and all that kind of stuff, I always throw that stuff in. And even when I throw it in, I always get the crowd going crazy whenever I do it. So usually I hit like an old school Biggie track that gets people just bananas, and I'll even throw in like an R. Kelly, song that's, I'll drop that every once in a while, depending on how I drop it, where it comes in, where a drop comes in. And, there's certain times how I mix it in where he says a certain thing and everybody's like, oh my God, how'd you do that type thing, where like he says a certain thing. So like, there's just certain times where I'll just like drop it and then I'll just totally just go off the cuff and go into like a house song, like a Chicago house track, and people will just lose their minds. So there's just certain things that that's like kind of like a Shaneyism that I just kind of do that will just blow people's minds, that will just, and then all of a sudden I'll just go like, then I'll like throw people off the chain and I'll just do like Lion King EDM. Like people are like, is that the Lion King song EDM song? I'd be like,
I have an EDM version of Let It Go that I'll drop every once in a while that becomes this giant sing along.
So I just, I'll just like throw people for a loop, but usually I'll just, totally do like, and I always try to throw in like an old Biggie track or like an R. Kelly thing, just because like that's kind of like who I am and kind of like what I do to kind of just like, especially with the kind of music that I have to play nowadays with all the crazy hip hop stuff that, I mean, it is what it is. It packs my dance floor. So if I have to, rake it up and all that kind of stuff, so just to calm myself back down, if I, want to just throw a little Tupac or a Biggie in just to kind of do it, that just calms me back down. And it gets everybody happy again. So and it gets me calm. So I'm happy to do it.
Let's see, for myself, Rick Springfield, he had a of course, Jesse's Girl was a song that we used to use quite a bit. Kaja Gugu with Too Shy, even though it wasn't a danceable song, it was one that we had the copy and we were one of the few that had it. The Tubes was another with She's a Beauty. Vital Idol. Billy Idol, back then, Moni Moni was played all the time. I mean, we played that at every school. Reckless, Bryan Adams' Reckless. I think there were a couple of songs we'd play off that. Ironically, we didn't do too much of Huey Lewis at dances, even though both Warner and I were huge Huey Lewis fans, and we had everything. It just wasn't something we did. But I think probably of that is... I would say probably Billy Idol was one that we played the most during that particular at the school dances, because that was prior to the kids starting to do the the sing along and chant along stuff. It just didn't happen back then, at least in this part of the world. So
once you got the microphone for them to sing along with you, right?
yeah, well, that's exactly.
That's the thing. If you'd had the microphone, they would have been singing like crazy.
Exactly. It's like, wait, we won't have the microphone for 2 more years, so you'll have to come back. We can't afford the microphone.
Oh, that's funny.
Someday you're going to know what a T-Pain microphone is, and you're going to love it.
Yeah, imagine dropping T-Pain's vocals back in like the early 90s or late 80s and saying this will be, every artist will do a song with this effect on their voice in the future. They'd have laughed.
Yeah, they'd be like, what? No, what? No. I was trying to think. Yeah, there were a few, because we had an area in which there was kind of a transition to more the rock era. Because early on, when Bon Jovi's New Jersey came out, that was that, or Slippery When Wet. One of them, we had one. Both of them went over very well in our area. Trying to think of a few others, but yeah, it was just a weird. Looking back at the music we played, it wasn't even the best songs of that era. It wasn't danceable songs of the era. It's like, oh gosh, we could have done so much better if we would have known today, or known then a little bit of what we know today. But you just basically played music you liked and hoped the kids liked it, and if they didn't, well, that was their problem. We took a request, and if we liked their request, we'd play it. If we didn't like it, they just wouldn't get played, even if it was a great song. It's like, yeah, we're not playing it. That is the way it went. Just checking the chat here.
That's what I'm answering stuff back. We've got a whole thing going on there for the freestyle era. For those of you who think freestyle era was Eminem rapping, no, it was not.
Who said that? What?
No. Nobody said it. I'm just making sure, because people think freestyle. They go, "Oh, you mean that whole era with Eminem?" No.
Oh.
No.
He's all
You mean
grown
the
up
band?
now. He looks all grown up.
I thought it was funny when he put that last rap out, that he was dissing the president and stuff. I thought, if this man has boatloads of money, but he's presenting himself in a video living under a bridge, rapping under a bridge.
No. Okay, you don't know what that's from then. You have no clue what that
video. I do, but it's still representing.
It's the cipher. No.
I know. He's still to me, you have so much money, you're still, to me, it was a false representation. I thought it was just kind of silly. He punked himself out as far as I was concerned.
But he was part of the cipher.
I know, but it just played off wrong. I think it played off wrong.
Had the crowd going.
He has an album coming out. I mean, that was a whole. I mean,
I know. It's like the last. I think the last album he came out with, he tried to, and it didn't work. He had one song that got a little bit of play, and that was it.
I suppose,
when he said nobody listens to techno, and then all of a sudden nobody listened to Eminem.
Well, he was on Saturday Night Live, and his song's like in the top 10 now.
Like I said, I just don't think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to go.
It's in the top 10. Kids are requesting it.
It's still, so was Rap God, but it didn't go. It just kind of,
Yeah, they have their moment in the sun, and then they go.
But he definitely, out of all the people in that whole entire cipher, which was like 40 people that did the cipher, he's not only out of all those people of up and coming artists and of everything that was on BET, it's the white dude that got the publicity. It was no other rapper that got publicity from the hip hop awards. It was Eminem.
Yeah.
So I think it did. I think it did its job.
Yeah.
He was in a documentary not too terribly long ago that I was watching, and it talked about his early years, and he's actually a very interesting person to do some research on and such.
He put work in his early days. He seriously put work in.
A lot of work to build what he did, and to a point, as you were. And there's been some criticism with a lot of the hip hop artists that they came from the hood, and they worked their way, and they all of a sudden are now making millions of dollars, and they're now living on the good side of town, and yet singing songs about the bad side of town, and well, dude, you're not even part of that anymore. You're not a part of that world. You haven't seen that world for 15 to 20 years, and And how can you be authentically singing about it? And it's like, yeah, I can get that a little bit. It's a different world. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat room said M&Ms are to be eaten, not heard.
You know, I'm not talking about that particular. It's not that.
Just like
8
our
Mile.
freestyle thing got derailed, M&M got derailed. Different kind of M&M.
Yeah,
Those are good too.
the 8 Mile was that particular, but that was kind of a pseudo based off. Wasn't the real. It was a documentary someone had put together. And the only Vanilla Ice that's interesting, yeah, we play a song, but let's face it. If you want to do weird home renovation in Florida, you call Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that's a great show to go. Wow, you're cool with doing that?
Wasn't he on like another reality show too? Wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he
Like,
did the first or second one where they all lived in the house together.
Yeah, wasn't he on something like that too? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in several. I mean, I don't know. I saw him when he came. Like he actually performed at one of the clubs I DJ'd at. Probably about the time of the reality show, and he was very angry. Like his whole show was angry. That's all I can say.
He came out with like I don't even remember what year it was, but it was like a reworking of Ice Baby, and
that's when
like
it was
heavy, hard.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
his whole show was like that. It's like he's an angry person right now.
But didn't he like lose everything? I think or something. I don't
No,
know.
that was Hammer that lost it all.
Yeah, Hammer had that.
Pistachio commercial too, or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
and then Vanilla Ice went and he became Amish for a while.
Oh,
and
he did live with the Amish. He had a reality show with the Amish.
He had the reality show building stuff with the Amish, and had a tricked out horse and buggy or something like that. Yeah. It was just
Stuff people do for money.
Yeah.
When you get, that's the weird thing about fame. It's something that when you get bitten by that, holy crap, you will do stupid stuff to stay on people's radar.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people are doing that.
It's a lot of people are doing that.
Oh, well, gang, we're going to wrap things up because I need to get on
you need to do another show. There's
another show tonight.
There's not another show now. I've got to get it. And we've been gone all day today.
There's a show about Cool Whip, everybody, after our show.
Actually,
that'll be the new sponsor. He's going to use Cool Whip as a sponsor.
I'm going to go in. Actually, the
it's
pumpkin
not just Electro Voice and promo only and everything, but our new sponsor is Cool Whip.
That's right. It's good.
As long as we're all sharing, I'm game.
It's good on everything. Oh.
Instead of taking a drink when we say a certain thing, we all have to eat Cool Whip every time.
Cool Whip, no.
All over. Cool Whip all over. Well, thank you guys for watching and being with us tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll be back with our Tuesday night shows. We're going to do a Ask Ben Stowe Anything show with Ben Stowe. He's on the road, so we're going to catch up with him in a hotel room somewhere in the United States. I'm not even sure where, to tell you the truth. But we're going to do an Ask Ben Stowe question night, and then Brian Red and I are going to be doing some looks at, we're going to do a music show tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, we've got the guys with their wedding chat. So a few more things on the docks for this week. And then next week, we kick off our 12 prizes for Christmas shows. So we'll catch you guys then. MJ, Dan, Shani, thank you guys very much. And we will see you guys tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. It's still there. We're still there. We're still there.